good evening to all my wonderful and beautiful little lovelies out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delish. And that life is treating you most deliciously. I hope that we're feeling the love. We continue to feel the love, my little honey bunnies. Now then, what's the time, Mr. Walser? The time is 2 p.m. on the 16th of August 2026, my delicious babies, and the sun has got his head on. Hip, 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 hooray. Okay. Now then, my delicious babies, so it's not going to be a long video today, my delicious babies, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, that life is treating you most deliciously. Now then, so we have got a couple of videos for you today. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to give you, and with anybody not in that way, I'm going to give you the first one. These will both be one-offs, my delicious little babies. And that doesn't mean no, I've just got a little bit of hair in my mouth. And I just want to see, what your thoughts are, if you decide to go and take a look, my delicious babies. So this first one happens to have 179,000 subscribers, my delicious babies. These are both on YouTube. And the uploader is called capital E, then the rest in little writing man. So it's E man together, then space, these are in capitals, R T M. Okay, my delicious babies. So the uploader's called E man RTM. Okay, my delicious babies. Now then, so I've never seen any of these videos before, my delicious little babies. Okay, and but it was interesting. Now, I mean, the video should read, this is just over 10 minutes long, my delicious little babies. The UK's funniest wrong answers. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat this again for you. The UK's funniest wrong answers. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, I wouldn't say I laughed at it, because I didn't. Okay, my delicious little babies. I mean, some, in all fairness, would be probably rather amused, okay? But what we have to understand is, I've only seen just this one video, my delicious little babies. What one's got to understand is that not everybody knows about many things, shall we say. Okay, my delicious little babies. So what your man does is he walks around, from what I could see, with his microphone, and he asks, from what I can see, the general mankind, because I do like to avoid these words and names like public, and so he asks them a question to see if they know what the answer is. But if we look at this another way, my delicious little babies, and this is why I'm advertising the video today. If we look at it, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, if I looked at some of the other videos, I probably would find, I wouldn't be able to help myself. I probably would find them a little bit amusing, but I do not always feel that, really, anybody should really laugh at somebody who, if they genuinely just do not know. Like there was one in here where it said, well, what is half of half? Well, half a half would be a quarter, wouldn't it? So, say for example, if you got a quid. Okay, my delicious little babies. Well, half of that would be 50, wouldn't it? So a quarter would be 25. But what was very fascinating, you see, there we are, look behind somebody's noddle, what their thoughts are when they're giving the answer. There we are, that's what I do. So one man said, what was he talking about? A shoe. So he's talking about a pair of shoes. So I wasn't laughing at none of these mad delicious babies, okay? I was fascinated by, there we are, by the answers, okay? So it's not for the fact that, I cannot see things funny now then, because, I used to do many videos where I used to find everything a hilarious, mad delicious babies, but I do not believe that that one should really laugh at, somebody else's expense in that way, because there could be many different reasons why somebody may not know. Do you know what I mean? So, it's not that I've been a bugbear. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not saying that I maybe wouldn't find some of his other videos amusing. So I'm not saying this about the uploader at all. I mean, he's just going round, bless him, just, asking questions. But it's like one said, he was talking about a pair of shoes. So what he was saying is that one pair of shoes, which is two, half would be half, wouldn't it? So it would be one shoe. I just thought, I really did, mad delicious babies. I just thought it was really, really fascinating. I mean, he asked another, your man there, he asked another one, what are you good at? And what did he say? He said, nothing. And he says, well, do you work? He says, no. He asked another one, what vitamin do you get from the sun? And what did he say? Love. Yeah, it's fascinating what answers, man can't give. You need to take a look, my delicious babies, to see what I'm saying and how ones get themselves to, there we are, the answer that they get themselves to. But if you look at it another way, okay, and, somebody said, well, what's half? If somebody is talking about a pair of shoes, well, then, you part the shoes, that would be half, wouldn't it? Because it's half and half. So what I'm doing is I'm doing my best to see how they've got to the answer that's in their noddle at that time. So they may not have been sparing a thought for change, or say, for example, if you've got a circle, and it's a cake, this is just what's coming into my noddle, and then you're cutting the cake in half, so that's half, isn't it? So that would be 50-50. But then you cut it again, then you cut it in quarters, aren't you? So it's 25. So that is what came into my noddle. But if you say you're looking at a pair of shoes, you could say the same about a pair of gloves. So, so if you've only got one glove and you lost the other one, so you lost the other half to the glove, haven't you? So I could see what was being said, my delicious babies. There was another young woman on there to do with an empire, so bless her, this young woman. She wasn't sure, what's an empire. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, correct English. What an empire is. There's lots of different questions that were asked. Do you know what I mean, Mads? I just thought it was very fascinating how some mankind's noddles work. Do you see what I mean? So I wasn't laughing because there's nothing to laugh about. I mean, he asked somebody else or somebody's, uh, name a country in Europe. Well, there are loads of countries in Europe, isn't there, Madeline babies? I mean, they class us as one, don't they, Madeline babies? You know what I mean? So that's nothing against, European country. I'm just saying. So it was fascinating with the answers, but I actually thought it was rather sad when when he asked the man, not in that way, not in that way, when he asked the man, what are you good at, and he said nothing. I thought, well, if the young man put his noddle to it, there we are, he would find that he's good at, some things. Can you see what I'm saying, Madeline babies? You know what I mean? Now, I mean, I'm really crap at maths. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it, Madeline babies, but when he asked the question, what was it? Doesn't mean no. 36 minus 29, I said, well, that's 7. Do you know what I mean, Madeline babies? You know what I mean? It's because it's 29, then it's 30, so that rounds it off. Then you add 6, so that becomes 7. But who he was asking your man there now then. And for some reason, he says, you put me on the spot. So I would say to that maybe his noddle, went blank. Do you know what I mean, Madeline baby? So it wasn't until, I mean, he asked some other ones, what's the capital of England, There was all different questions that were being asked, what's the capital of Jamaica? And I mean, that one there, I mean, well, that was something else, that part was, Madeline babies. Do you understand what I mean? Okay? But it was just very fascinating to see what the answers there we are were. It was only when he got to the last your man there, who managed to, to answer the questions. Do you know what I mean, Madeline babies, okay? But that's what I really find is really wonderful about mankind, Madeline babies. Do you understand what I mean? Because somebody may not be very good at English or mathematics or geography. Do you know what I mean? Like another question was, how many sides does a square have? Well, it's 4, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, it's, but then I don't know. I suppose I could have been looking at, if you're looking at it from a different, like when you let me draw one. So, say if you're drawing, hold on. Oh, let me do it on the back of this. Okay, Mads, it's all right. Just little robins. Got loads of little robin bees in the world, haven't we, Mads? The babies. So say you've got like this. This is how my noddle's sparing the thought now. And then you've got this part here. Okay. Sorry, Mads, I'm trying to, show you something. Okay, so, sort of something like this. Can you see that, Mads, babies? You know what I'm talking about. What do you call that now? Like where you draw and then you... So what you're doing is that you're showing, like, like the inside of Do you know what I'm saying? Like an inside of a box. Do you know what I'm saying, Mardlishtik babies? Yes? That's what I'm talking about. So if you're doing that, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, then I suppose it'd be 5, 6, you know. But that would be, if you're looking at it uh, as a different diagram. I know what I'm talking about, Mardlishtik babies, but the point is what I'm saying, okay? So this is not an art lesson, okay, Mardlishtik babies, but I know what I'm saying. So you know, so you could say that it could be easy to get it wrong. It's like, you know, the ones that I always get mixed up with, Mardlishtik babies. What are they now? Or what is it? The hexagon. I always get mixed up with how many you know what I mean, how many sides they have, Mardlishtik babies. That's the one that I will always get mixed up with. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so the chances are I'm not going to really get the answer correct. Do you know what I mean? But at least I'm honest, Mardlishtik babies. But what I'm saying is, you know, mankind is they're just very fascinating. So even though they may not be very good at English or mathematics, maybe, you know, they could be good at, for some, cookery, for some, well, it could be art, you know, do you know what I mean, for art. Some could be good at knitting, some could be good at electrical work, some could be good at mechanics. You know, if you go back decades and decades ago, do you know what I mean, Mardlishtik babies? And you see, there wasn't, if you go way back in time, not too many, you know, decades, Mardlishtik babies, you will find that, you know, there were mankind who could not read or write or anything. Do you know what I mean? Or if there was to add up, they'd probably have their own way of adding up. Do you know what I mean, Mardlishtik babies? So, you know, I just find anything like that really fascinating, but I certainly didn't, you know, laugh, you know, at the answers that they gave, Mardlishtik babies. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, do you know what I'm saying? Mm. You know, like that's half, isn't it? It's half of a face, isn't it, Mardlishtik babies? You know what I mean? Anyway, so I just, I just thought I'd mention it, Mardlishtik babies. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you really look at it, it's just very fascinating. I just find mankind very fascinating, but I didn't laugh at it because I didn't find it very amusing. I just thought it was interesting with the answers. Anyway, Mardlishtik babies, it's just amazing how somebody else's noddle will work to another. Remember what I said, you know, on one of my recent videos? You could get 10 in a room and you could show them something and each and every one of them are going to give a different answer. It's very rare that you're going to get somebody who, who's maybe going to be two or three or four who are all going to give the same answer. Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to, in their noddles, they're going to see what they're seeing, or they're going to hear as well. You know what I mean? If it's could be anything, could be a video, could be anything, but it's what they see and what they hear if they're blessed to hear and see. That's the point I'm making. Anyway, my delicious babies. Now, finally, this upload happens to have 137,000 subscribers. So I'm not talking to the alternative media who already know this uploader. I've personally never seen this uploader before. And just to let you know, I did have to scroll down some pages, and you get to the top, you go like this, and it circles, one of those. Okay, my delicious baby, you know what I mean. Anyway, my delicious baby as well. This one is called Simon. He's pronouncing, so do forgive me. Mitchell. I'll spell it for you, my delicious babies. Michaux. That's who's talking. Okay, my delicious babies. But the uploader is called capital C commodity, then a space, capital C culture. So it's commodity space culture. That's the uploader, my delicious babies. So the video should read. This is just over 44 minutes long. Okay, unprecedented global reset coming. Here's what elites are planning. Simon Michaux. I'm very sorry if I've got that wrong. But like I said, do forgive me. I'm not very good at pronouncing. I'm absolutely flipping crap at pronouncing. Okay, my delicious babies. Now then. Right. So this is like a prediction, basically, because the one who's interviewing, he's interviewing your other man there, and your other man is sort of giving his predictions as how he sees, how it's going in this world, my delicious babies. But I will repeat again, I'm not talking to alternative media because I'm pretty sure that you will know who this uploader is. Okay, I'm talking to our delicious babies who do not know. Okay, so that's all the videos for today, my delicious babies. I do not have anything else to say. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, and how I love you so. You're super duper wonderful, super duper delicious, and I love you. Okay, and you just please try to take care of yourselves, and please try to take care, of others, because we are in a bonkers, crackers and crazy world. I never needed to stumble there, my delicious babies. Okay, yeah, something's just came into my noddle. You know that half face I did. The Phantom of the Opera is now. You know that one? Do you remember that? It's got to be decades ago now. It was an opera, wasn't it? And he had a mask on, and it's only showing half. Anyway, my delicious babies. So until my next video, you just look after now, my little lovelies. I've got to go and peg me washing out. Okay, my delicious babies. Have a beautiful day. You just look after now. It's very crowded on the road today. There's lots of cars. The same cars that those in the world do not want anybody to drive. Those sort of brum brum wheels. You know what I mean? My delicious babies. Anyway. Oh, and apparently there is something to do with that I seen yesterday. Is it a plane? Funny looking plane, actually. But apparently with this plane, is it in Barney, in the USA? Well, apparently, this plane, it can actually run off of, unless somebody's taking a pee with the video. I do not know. I mean, if they're not, well, I apologise. I say sorry for saying that. But apparently, it runs on very little. And apparently it can even run on cooking oil. You know what I mean, Martin babies? Yes. Anyway, I've talked about many things over my years on YouTube, having a Martin babies anyway. They can even run on air, can't they, Martin babies? Actually, that was part of the title to the video, running on air. I talked about something like this years ago. Of course, you do not get any views at all. Okay, Martin babies. So very much love. Thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, the occasional comments, and how I love you all. So take care. Goodbye.